Hello and welcome to My Xbox and Me, episode 200. I am one of your hosts, MC Fixer, alongside Too Fresh Crash himself.
Yeah.
Still hates the name.
Still hates the
name.
I thought
It's
if I
okay,
let
Crash.
it slide for a while, I'd grow on me, but it just
No,
didn't.
but it's not just me that says it now. Everybody
I know,
says
I
Too
hate
Fresh
it. I really hate
Everybody
it.
says it. It's the best. It's the best. And the one and only, my dad, Greg Miller. How are you, Greg?
I'm very proud of you, son. Episode 200. What an achievement.
We got here in the end. It only took a lot of tears, a lot of sleepless nights, like tonight, but we got there in the end. Let's get the rigmarole out of the way. If you don't know, My Xbox and Me is our weekly Xbox podcast here on youtube.com/mcfixer and all podcast services everywhere: iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, Spotify. You name it, we got it. You can get the show early over on patreon.com/mcfixer. And if you're not subscribed to everyone here, please do. Myself, youtube.com/mcfixer. Kresh is on mixer.com/Kresh. And Greg, you can find him at www.kindafunny.com or everywhere else. You know, you don't need to plug Greg. Trust me, everyone knows who you are.
Oh, you know what? There's somebody listening to this who has no idea who I am, and then they'll figure it out and be really pissed off that I'm on the show.
Yeah.
No way. It's funny though. A lot of, especially the My Xbox and Me audience, a lot of people don't know you. So when we talk, especially when I talk about you, I'm like, oh yeah, Greg Miller, this, da, 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 da. And they're like, who? And I'm like, wait, what?
That
I'm like,
Sony pony?
So that's what I thought we'd start this off with. It was like episode 200. I've had AC Bongos on the show. We had Ago on the show, who's head of Idea Xbox, and then we get Greg Miller for the big 200, which is a PlayStation fan. But it's not entirely true though, is it? Let's be honest. Because
No, of course
lately,
not, no.
the way you've been talking lately about Xbox, it's been very positive. Not to say you was ever negative, but it's been very positive, and I loved your outlook on Xbox at the moment. How you been feeling about the platform?
I mean, I feel super strong about it. I keep waiting for them to take over, and I think it's going. At E3, that was the big concern coming in. Not concern. The big prediction was that it was their time to shine, their time to run away with it. And I don't think they did. I think they did obviously a great showing. They had a ton of games, everything. And it's what it is that next generation is going to be so fascinating because I think Xbox is doing the most interesting stuff right now, and it might just be that they're the ones who can actually talk about it. That's why it seems so interesting, and like whatever PlayStation's doing is up their sleeve. But everything they're doing is so pro-consumer and so pro-gamer, and if we get to the Xbox or the next Xbox, we get to Scarlet, right, and we're talking about launching this thing, and they come out and they say all the right stuff, and they show what the first parties are working on, and they prove to you that you need this system for these exclusives. I think it's going to be so many people coming in to use that system, using it every day, and being like, oh my God, Game Pass is so great. Oh my God, Project xCloud is a game changer that I literally am, at the airport, and I get on Wi-Fi, and I'm playing the games I have there, and I didn't even realize that this is a Play Anywhere title. Like I've been saying it, I feel like for the last 2 years, but they've built and been building such a strong foundation that I want to see them capitalize on it, right? Like we joke around the front about it. Like the PlayStation stuff comes from the fact that, of course, I like PlayStation, but it's was my job at IGN. That's what I got hired for. So for 8 years, I was the PlayStation guy, and I consider it like my beat in the same way, like the Chicago Bears beat reporter would be on. Maybe not the biggest Bears fan, but he knows a lot about the Bears. That's my relationship with PlayStation in terms of an ecosystem. But I've been saying on the shows that I honestly think if you were to talk about it, like in terms of fanboyness, like I'm cheering the hardest for Xbox. I want to see them win. I think Phil Spencer's making the right calls. I think all the stuff they're doing is really exciting. And when I got to use Project xCloud at E3, I was like, this is what I'm talking about. And even still, you on the shows we do at Kinda Funny, I talk a lot right now about Stadia. But again, it's because Stadia is imminent. Stadia is the one that I've used more.
Coming.
Exactly.
Right.
Whereas xCloud is still just, and people write in all the time, if you're this excited about Stadia, why aren't you excited about xCloud? I'm like, I am totally that excited about xCloud. For me, it literally is a arms race of when they both get out there, who works the best? How is it going? Well, what system do I want to be?
Yeah, the problem we both said about Stadia is we already have our libraries, and that's why we're both so excited about xCloud, right, Crash? It's because the pure fact is we can take it. We've got our libraries already. Hopefully, it just means we're paying for our subscription service, and we can take the games we already own everywhere.
No, you are 100% correct, and like that's where I am too. Where it's like, cool, if we get here and xCloud is the better service. Like, I already have an Xbox Live. I already have my friends list. I already have my achievements. I already have my library. And then if it is that next generation Xbox is going to be delivering on first party front the way PlayStation did this time around. Like hell yeah, that's what I want.
I think that's the big thing, right? Is the first party front. We're still waiting on exclusive to the same level as PlayStation. I think we talk about it so often, Crash, right? That they just don't have a Horizon Zero Dawn, a Spider-Man, a Last of Us. They don't, as much as I love Gears of War, I'm not the biggest Halo fan, but I know people are. We just haven't had that this gen, so it's going to be so interesting next gen to see where we're at. Chris, we got a ton of questions, Chris. So do you want to just jump straight into them?
Yeah, let's.
Do you want to take the first one?
Sure. Ryan Matchett wrote,
yes.
Congrats on 200 episodes. Started listening around 116, 117. You guys convinced me to get Game Pass. What you looking forward to from Xbox Next Gen?
Exclusives, I think I would say. If I had to, the first thing for me would be they just bought all of these new studios. And I want it was a joke when it came out in a statement where it was like triple A, which is 4A. You're like, what the hell's going on here? Like, but when I read it out, I was like, okay, this is just stupid. But now we look at it, I'm like, yeah, no, I do want that premium content. I want something that's going to blow me away, new IPs. And it looks like they've got the right studios to do it. It's funny because obviously PlayStation buys Insomniac and we're all like, oh, Xbox lost in the battles. Like, there's no studio compared to Insomniac that Xbox support. It's like, but it's quality over quantity, right? As well, and that's what I think is the main thing. As much as would I have liked Insomniac to be Xbox, would I love Sunset Overdrive 2 to be an Xbox? Yes, but it's not how things work. Chris, what are you looking forward to next gen most?
I would also say like exclusives. It really is what can Microsoft deliver, because I think on a lot of fronts Microsoft is really competent, right? From their online services, their friends list, the achievements, I almost said trophies, the achievement list.
I've infected the podcast. Stuff. There's no way to stop it now.
All that stuff I think Microsoft does really well. It is the game department that they've sort of, we've talked about it, where for a very long time they had Halo and Gears of War, and that's really all they had.
Forza,
and everything,
Forza.
Halo, Gears of War, and Forza. And when they try and put something like Sunset Overdrive, it doesn't really hit as well as maybe it should have, because that is a fantastic game. So hopefully this next turnaround they release good exclusives, and it also has a player base that sort of uplifts it as well.
Yeah, no, 100%. Greg, what about yourself? Next gen, what's the thing you're most looking forward to?
I mean, obviously, games are huge. Exclusives are huge. I think that's key to the success of any of these platforms. For me, it is though being a streaming dork. Like I want to see what xCloud is. And I hope it works amazing. Like right over here, right, is my PS4. I'm currently recording in Seattle, right? Yeah. I brought my PlayStation 4 here on the whim that I would have the time to play some Control, right? Like Control isn't exclusive to PlayStation in any way, shape, or form. It's that thing that okay, cool. If we get to the point and xCloud works and it is perfect and it's streaming and it's great and it doesn't need a crazy connection, I'm gonna have a lot of tough choices, right? In terms of being the PlayStation fanboy, I will walk away. Like I'll
from the trophies
for home. Well, that's the thing is like what I hit 100 platinums, like you know what I mean? Like and there is definitely gonna be those games that I'm like, I'm going to platinum this game. I love this game so much. I know I want to platinum it. But then there's going to be so many games that I am going, like, I'm super stoked about Witcher 3 on Switch because I just never had that much, those hundreds of hours at my PlayStation. So, like, that's, for me, a game that I know I would never platinum. So it's not like that would be a chase for me. It is the convenience of having it. And so, if we get there and xCloud is working better than Stadia and, Xbox is delivering on these exclusives, like, that is going to be amazing to have. Just toss the controller and the iPad or the computer screen I already have and go that way.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think the thing that's so important about next gen is we're finally getting to a point where you're buying consoles for exclusives, which I think you've always done, but even more so now because of games being with Play Anywhere and being able to cross play with everything. PlayStation are obviously letting up on that, where Xbox have been forward thinking in that. I feel like it's just a case of, all right, you go where the exclusives are now. If you care about this, you're buying this. Or if you care about this, and this, you buy this. Or if you're like us, proper nerds, we buy everything because we want to play everything at the end of the day. That's just who we are. So, it's a really interesting time. I think load times as well. I think you've brought it up so many times to me, Crash, where you're like, load times. And it's something that I've just sort of not thought about. anymore. Where I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, they're there. But like after seeing the Spider-Man demo for the PS5, you're like, oh wow, things are gonna really ramp up. And yeah, I've played games on PC, and you're just like, okay, yeah, it's better. But from what we're expecting, I'm expecting like instantaneous load times, at least from first-party games from both sides. Maybe not third-party.
Yeah. I went back to Destiny 2 recently, and one of the things I noticed was that game still has really long load times, and I'm playing that on PC. Where it was like, I remember we complained about Anthem when that was out, and Destiny 2 is like, Destiny 2 is kind of similar. I think Anthem was still longer, but Destiny 2 was still pretty long as well.
Yeah, but Anthem had everything else going around it, didn't it?
Yeah.
There was many holes in the boat on that one.
It just really got me.
I mean, you talk about us being nerds, and that's what's so exciting about next gen, is that I really feel like it is going to be the death by a thousand cuts kind of thing, right? Where there's going to be so many little bells and whistles that you can't put in trailer, and they wouldn't sell it in Walmart's retail aisle. But for us, when we are talking about services that are already built in, what your Xbox subscription actually is going to be, and what that's going to look like, and what load times are going to be like. That's what gets me excited, because the games are going to look great. They already look great. They're going to look a little bit better, maybe a lot better. But like, you're not going to have a PS2 to PS3 jump here. Like, we're going to get things that look better but run better, and actually are hopefully giving you the better user experience.
Yeah, no, you're exactly 100% right. Next question: do you think Game Pass / Game Pass Ultimate is something that should stay as an Xbox / PC thing, or do you see it evolve into other systems? That's the first question, so we'll start there. I think it should be everywhere. I think I'm done with caring. I think I said this last week on the podcast, which is I'm done with caring about exclusives and not stand on Xbox. And you can play it on PlayStation, Xbox. Like, I don't care. I generally don't care. And I put out 2 weeks ago, we put out the episode which was, why are we buying a Scarlet? And I took a lot of heat for it. A lot of heat, because I couldn't, for some reason, I didn't think about it. Which is, I'm buying a Scarlet because I love to use it in the face. I'm buying it because I love my friends list that's already there. I love being able to click onto a mixer stream whenever I want. I love the store. I forgot about all those things because I do have a PC and I can just play games on PC. Game Pass is the same thing. It's just like, you want it to be accessible everywhere. I'm sick of the war between the companies. And I did a talk at a primary school a couple of days ago, and one of the teachers asked me to explain it to the kids, like, the kids shouldn't be rowing about PlayStation and Xbox. I'm like, no, because it's gone. It's done now. It's literally both companies just making money. It's not, no one's got to die here, and obviously Nintendo, but no one's got to die here. And I think for Xbox and for Microsoft, it's get Game Pass on everything. If PlayStation will allow it, get Game Pass on PlayStation. Simple.
Yeah, no, I still think they'll put it on Switch. I think that'll be where they go.
Yeah.
I think PlayStation never will budge. Yeah,
No.
I think that gets it so complicated in whatever they're doing. But it's that idea, of like, the fact that it's not already on Switch, I feel is weird. And then now it's just a waiting game of when it will, because I feel Nintendo clearly isn't fighting this race, isn't running this race against them. And why would they care? And I think Xbox is the one who needs to do the crazy stuff, right? They do need to be the ones who are thinking outside of the box and getting their games to wherever they can get their games.
Yeah. I mean, that also helps out Nintendo quite a bit, because Nintendo's always had this thing of, they have really great children's games, but they don't have anything outside of that. And having Game Pass and that whole library there, where you can play it on high quality, really does something for Nintendo, where Sony doesn't really need that.
Is your read on the situation too that it's obviously for Game Pass to work on there, it has to be the streaming thing? So are we just in a holding pattern until Project X?
So.
Project X Cloud, 100%. 100%. I think that's the only. I don't think it would be a native thing. It's definitely going to be a streaming thing. So it's not going to be downloading games to the Switch, and that's how Game Pass works currently. So it makes perfect sense for Project X Cloud to come out, and then Game Pass is on there. Boom, you hit two birds with one stone.
Yep.
So Yami also goes on to say, he said, would it be possible, I did not write this, would it be possible for Fix to do an on-the-scenes reporting for XO19 for KF? Throw the one out there for you, Fix. Winky face. Thank you very much, Yami.
I mean, anything's possible. It's more the thing of, like, how do we have it fit in? You know what I mean? Like, what is our content going to be around there? Because if we're doing live reactions, sure, then you can do this. Skype on you to tell
I'm
us
gonna
what you
be
did.
there. I'm going
Yeah.
there anyway, no matter what. So don't.
But it's also that thing of you want to be making your own content. That's what the whole reason you're
Very
there,
true.
right?
It's funny that you say that. Someone was talking to me the other day about like the kind of funny community, and there's like, why don't you double down on the kind of funny community and try and do this and be like Snowbite Mike and do this? It's like, number one, I'm in England. I'm not. I am not in America, so I can't get to the same shows and be within touching distance of you guys the way I would like to. And one day, maybe, who knows? And number two, I've always wanted to do this off my own merit. As much as I've had your help in huge amounts of ways, and you've inspired me so much, but we've already had that discussion. That's what makes this so much easier. But I don't want to come off of anybody. I want to be known as Corey Spearman, MC Fixer, and the reason I'm known is because I made great content, which is dedicated to getting up at 2:00 in the morning to do this show, or doing it from my mum's front room, which I am, which is whatever it is. Like, I've done it for me, and if that gets out to other people, good. But I don't want to latch on to people. I know full well I don't message you all the time for anything because I don't need to, and I don't think it's right. And I know if I needed something deeply or I needed some advice, I could come to you because I've built that relationship with you so far. So yeah, like as much as I think it would be great, I'm gonna be there no matter what. I've already spoken to Graham Boyd. I'm gonna try and get an interview with him while I'm there. Like there's things already in the works, Army. But thank you very much for asking. I do appreciate it.
Yeah, for me, it's always you can come to us, and you know this, obviously, any content creator can, but I mean, like, and pitch us ideas on how it would look, right? It's just like, think about it, like, when we go to E3, we don't do, like, live hits from there, right? It's just the normal shows we're already doing are then put into it in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah, the way you're set up currently, maybe it changes in the future, it doesn't work for.
It's always changing.
Always. Tony said, ask Greg about the monthly Borderlands show he's doing, and is he excited for it?
Oh my god, I can't wait. I'm super excited. Borderlands 3 right now is one of those games that's ruining all the other games for me, where it's what I want to play. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want to get there and just spend 40 hours with it. So everything else I'm playing, it's like, this is good, but like, you check the email, like, do I have a code? Did a code come through for Borderlands? Can I review Borderlands? Yeah, the Borderlands show is a really cool opportunity. We just announced here at PAX that we're doing with 2K. It's the first time Kind of Funny's producing a show for someone else. So it's a monthly show hosted by myself and Fran Mirabel III. We'll record it live on twitch.tv/Borderlands, and then it'll go up on youtube.com/Borderlands game, I think. I got to use that, I guess. The first episode isn't recorded until the 18th. I got time.
You got plenty of time.
But yeah, the idea is that, you know, it's a really fun conversation that we had with 2K where they hit us up and were like, hey, so we did E3 and everything was great, but one of the most successful pieces of content we did were just some of the developers and stream team people talking about the game.
Yeah.
And it really got this idea of us going of like, man, what if we did a Borderlands like podcast or video show in this instance? And they were like,
yeah.
Sorry?
So similar to what you was doing with Telltale, like when you did you did their recap shows,
right?
In a way, it's different to what that is, but
of course, yeah. But you got the right idea. And I mean, what it is taking the Kind of Funny podcast template, the more like even Games Daily or Beyond or whatever, and now making that strictly about Borderlands. Beyond. So the idea, right, is that it's going to be me and Fran once a month. We'll go through whatever the news is in terms of here's what's coming to the game, here's what the new announcements are. Like they have a drip feed, obviously, of content they want to do post-launch. So us talking about that, you know, the first episode will be very much, we've been playing the game for, 5 days now. What do we think of it? What do we like about it? What do we don't like about it, right? That was one of the big things for me with 2K. When they came to us about it, I was like, sure, this sounds awesome. Like, it's obviously a huge compliment that they were like, we need to do a podcast. You guys are the best at making podcasts. What would that look like? And I was like, it would look like this, but it means that, don't get me wrong, you own the show, but you don't own us. Like, we need to come on, and if we don't like the DLC or we don't like this character, we're going to say that. And they're like, oh my God, of course. Yeah. Like, we're not trying to, this isn't meant to be an infomercial. Like, it's meant to be a show for a game that we are super passionate about, right? Like, it's the same way Fran runs the Destiny show he does. Yeah. So the idea of the show is, the opening is, the news segment of like, here's what we're thinking in terms of the first one, reviews, here's what post-launch content is getting announced. Obviously, since we're working with them, we have the opportunity then to be the source of news on that of like, let's look at what the new DLC is, let's look at what the new end-game content is going to be. Then we want to interview with a developer every show. So Paul Sage is coming out, he's creative director on the title. He'll be there. Again, it'll be our first time to talk to him after having played a lot of it. We'll have questions there for people there. Well, it's the same thing in any other Kind of Funny thing. People are submitting their questions at kindoffunny.com/Borderlands. They're submitting their reviews. We're getting them. We're talking to them. And then again, because of the opportunity we have to work so closely, I think there's a lot of cool little things we can do, and actually have like jokes in there, have Claptrap answer questions or do stuff like that. But it's going to be, this once a month, hour-long show where we talk shop about this game we're all playing.
More content. I'm happy.
Exactly, right?
I'm
and
happy.
It's that thing of like, if you don't, it's very interesting, I feel, because it's us very much speaking to that audience. I don't think, and I don't paint myself in a corner, but it would be so strange if Kind of Funny did a show about a game, like on our Kind of Funny channels, right?
Yeah.
Where if it was just like, now it's just the DC Universe Online show and it's all we do over and over again. Whereas this going, hey, we're making the show, and if you don't care about Borderlands but you like Kind of Funny, you're never going to see it. Right? It's all the way over there on their channels, and you can go get it if you want to.
Fair enough. Yeah, I feel like companies are finally coming around to the idea of that, though, right? Where they're bringing in hosts and personalities and streamers, whoever, and like, say what you want, but obviously do it in a professional way, constructive criticism and stuff. And I think that's the best way to be. Obviously, I think me and Chris, we did a co-stream watching Greg and that do the review of Borderlands 3, remember?
Right.
And we was like, okay, this is perfect. It was snappy. It was you guys being you guys, which is the main thing. That's all that really matters. And then you get the content that you're there for as well, as long as it's not awkward interview segments, which we won't go on about. But to be fair, Greg, I'll give it to you. As much as people are going to call me a whatever, you don't really do that many bad interviews.
Thank you.
I think that's probably like your key skill. Obviously,
well, that's why I think I keep getting these jobs. You know what I mean? People who don't like Greg Miller on the internet is like, why does Greg Miller keep doing everything? And it's like, for the most part, Greg Miller does it because he can make everybody look good. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing, is like the worst you can have is something go wrong and the developer and the interviewer get the wide eyes of like, what do we fucking do? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter to me, and that's what I always tell people. Like, I just did the Guild Wars reveal for their Living World stuff up here at PAX, and that was like very specifically like, we know you can come out and get the crowd hype and you can keep it going, and when our devs get really into the weeds about something, and if they get scared, or like, I don't know if you watched it, but like at one point
I didn't. Guild Wars.
No, I totally get it. Like, and that's the thing, right?
And I love you, but still.
Oh no, I know, no, totally. Like, I wouldn't have watched it either, right? Like, I'm not a Guild Wars fan per se, but like talking to the developer up there at one point, like, there was a moment where she admitted she was nervous, right? And like, I was like, oh, and I like stopped the panel, I was like, everybody, this is her, and the whole crowd was like, hi, her name or whatever. And it's like those little moments there of like, this isn't brain surgery, isn't. I'm not interviewing the president. We can have fun with this,
right?
Like, but it's so much the same way of like when I start a panel and I come out and I'm like, who's been to a panel before? And then if you raise your hand, right, I make fun of it. I'm like, oh, you've been to bad panels. You need to clap. You need to boo. You need to cheer. You need to be part of it. It's setting that expectation for first the audience, but then also for the other people up there. Because I always joke around. Right now, somebody could bust in the hotel here with a camera and a light and be like, you're on. And I'd be like, what's up, everybody? Welcome to my hotel room. Like, but like, that's not a normal person reaction. So to take normal people who make games and put them in front of a camera, there's already going to be that, like, how do I do? What do I do? So if I'm there being a complete idiot, like if EA Access, right, and I come out and immediately throw my cards into the air and say, we don't need them, you know what I mean? Like, that sets the tenor. I'm like, oh, okay, this is going to be this.
It sets the tone, No, I totally get it. Chris, we'll take the next question. Sorry, big coffee, my apologies.
Don't worry about it. Here's the scenario. This is from Chris Nelson as well. You're out in the open sea testing water physics for Microsoft and Rare Studios. All of a sudden, you come across a shipwreck. The SS PlayStation. The ship contains every PlayStation first and second party franchise in history. Your modest vessel can only save 3 franchises and bring them over to the Microsoft Xbox. The rest die forever. Bonus question. We'll get to the bonus question after.
We'll get to the bonus question after.
We'll answer this one first.
Are they making new ones? Or are these being erased from history? What's happening?
They're gone. They're gone forever. They're dead.
Yeah.
Oh
so
my god. Okay.
They die today, right now. Have you got 3 that you can think of, Rich?
God of War.
Yep.
Ratchet and Clank.
Wow. Okay.
Uncharted, probably.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Ratchet and Clank. Why?
I love that franchise. I don't think there's a bad Ratchet and Clank game, other than, was it Quest for Booty? I think it was Quest for Booty. It was a small game. It was a $15 game. Wasn't your normal Ratchet and Clank game.
I remember that.
Other than that,
oh, sorry, go on.
no, I was just gonna say other than
so
that.
tough.
I've got three. If you want to wait, I would definitely.
Yeah,
go...
I'm jotting it down. But you know how it is where you're like jotting it down and then I'm gonna say it and then I'm gonna get destroyed because I didn't pick X, Y, or Z.
I would go. Should I say on Sunset Overdrive now they own that?
I mean,
no, I would go Last of Us, Horizon Zero Dawn, and probably God of War. Those would be the three I keep.
I thought about Horizon and Last of Us. The only reason I didn't pick them is because they're both only have one game so far.
Yeah, but I can already see what's to come. Is the point? Like,
I get that.
Horizon,
No, I agree with that.
Horizon, that game for me, I was just like blown away by it when it came out. And Last of Us, I could keep playing that game and feel different emotions every single time. It's just so touching. So yeah, those are the three I brought over to Xbox, definitely.
All right, so to save these from being blinked out of existence, make sure that everyone understands who they are. I would go with Uncharted, of course. Okay, I mean, what a great. I mean, like, I think Naughty Dog, of course. I think that was when they really sat down and were like, we're going to define what Sony first party is and really make people understand what that is. Because we weren't talking about worldwide studios and first party exclusives, sure, but not about like this stable of video game developers that PlayStation had. So I'm going to do that for the history. Then, much like you, Fixer, I can see where this franchise is going. I would save Spider-Man. I would get Spider-Man off that boat over there because the first game's so great. You know they're going to make another one and then probably 15 more, hopefully.
That's actually, I didn't think of Spider-Man.
Really?
Just dead. Just dead.
That's why. You killed him. You know what I mean? No more Spider-Man games. We're still out here talking about Spider-Man 2 is the best Spider-Man game. If it's not And then, of course, because I'm Greg Miller, I'm saving Patapon, and I'm getting Patapon over there. We're getting Patapon on next class. It's back to being a portable game. We can go anywhere.
Why did I not? I should. Yeah. Jesus. What's the bonus question? Yes, I let Spider-Man die and Patapon.
The bonus question is: you only have enough food to keep one franchise alive longer than 5 years. Who gets the grub and who dies of scurvy after the next title?
Jeez, a lot of CFE reference.
Yeah.
Not like I didn't pan. Not like I didn't pan that game on this podcast. So, like a lot after going to the studio.
Have you come back to it?
Pardon?
Have you come back to it since like?
Yeah, we went back a little bit after, and it's still just so empty, in my opinion. It's just empty. There's that. So I could rant for a long time about that game, but yeah, no, it's still.
I won't get you started. Sorry.
no, I just because the previews of that game, me and Haley, we got to go to Rare Studio and play it and go around the studio, and you get. I'm not gonna lie, I got sucked into the whole atmosphere, so I'm sort of like, oh my god, the game looks amazing. It comes out, and you're like, we played that. I think we played it for 2 days, didn't we, Grush? And we just like,
we did.
Oh, this is empty, and there's nothing here. And I get that we're gonna build upon it, but the progression system and whatever. I'll let it go. Damn. Good question. I don't know. I'd probably say Gears of War, and we're gonna talk about Gears of War a little bit later. But I did not expect to be so excited for Gears the way I am. Like, and to know that it's going to be another 5 years of keep getting these Gears of War games and they keep expanding. The previews that have come out are like, it got me even more excited about how they've changed the game and it's a little bit more open world-esque. And that worries me in a way, but I'm really confident about it as well. So maybe I'll go Gears.
I'm pretty sure the bonus question was for the 3 franchises we previously saved.
Oh, that's awkward.
Yeah.
Well,
you already said it. Now everyone knows Gears is the only thing you keep alive, you monster.
Well, if we were talking seriously, we'd be like Resident Evil. Let's be serious. If we were talking anything, come on. Go on. Crash?
Probably God of War.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I would save Spider-Man. Again, I don't want to lose. I'll miss the history with Uncharted. But in terms of what's going forward, I would go Spider-Man.
It's been here. It's done its thing, you know?
Exactly, right? Even if it's like that Yesterday movie and I'm the only one who remembers.
Next one we got is what features from each console do you think should be universal across all platforms? An example is how you can assign controllers to specific profiles on Xbox One. This is a really hard question for me because I just don't play PlayStation enough. Literally, I turned on my PlayStation the other day and was like, reviewed Man of Medan, and I was like,
yeah.
oh god, I hate this UI and I hate this console and I hate everything about it. Just literally, but it's my own fault. It's literally what you talk about with the Xbox, which is it hasn't been updated in 10 years. And
what do you know? What is your ecosystem, right? Like that's the thing where it's like I remember having legitimate arguments because I was so stupid with like Damon, where he'd be like, "I love the blades on the Xbox 360," and I was like, "What? You're crazy! It's cross media bar." And then it would be the fact that I could literally walk him through how to get to the printer settings off of memory. I'm like, why does the PS3 have printer settings? Who the fuck cares? Why would anyone need? For me, I honestly have an answer that well, the thing that I think I love the most about Xbox in terms of a feature coming to PlayStation is the fact that how Xbox achievements track inside the achievement. Whereas, when you're playing God of War or whatever, or when you're playing any game, I shouldn't say God of War, actually, that's a bad example. When you're playing other games and it's like, get 25 headshots. You're like, cool, how many do I fucking have already? If the game didn't build that into their own menus, I don't see that tracking for my trophy. I just know I have to keep shooting people in the head.
That's a good one. It's not one that I fell out of achievements. I've been trying to get back in. Yeah, I used to be really deep in achievements, and then when I started doing this for a job, I fell out because there's just so much to play. And also, when you stream, I try and stream I was streaming 8 hours a day, and now 5, and you'll end up just playing. I played Minecraft today for 6.5 hours. It's like you just can't. You don't find time to achieve.
Grind that many achievements at that point.
No, exactly. I still care and I still get happy when they pop, as Crash will tell you, because I scream like a madman.
Yes.
I dropped out. Have you got? I'm trying to think what else. What between the two? What
I play so much Xbox. I can't think of one. Because I mostly only use my PlayStation for
Adobe Sound or something. Doesn't Xbox have Adobe Sound and PlayStation don't? Or it might only be on the Pro. Again, I don't know. I'm talking out my butt cheeks at this point, so let me not. Let me not. Yeah. No. Next one is from a little guy called Zyger.
Oh, I know this young boy.
You heard of him? Yeah. He says, "Yo, you ready? Yo, you ready for some?" You ready to have some of my Xbox and me representation at the next Pear Schneider Cup and take home the trophy? But for real, what would Greg want to see in the next Xbox as far as UI and features and interface changes? But let's be serious. My Xbox and me, just because I can't get out there, I've got Crush sitting there. He's in New York. He'll come. I've got Zygar wherever he is. We're coming to represent next year. I'm sending T-shirts. I'm sending jumpers.
Zygar, you're champion. That's fine. I'm down. Yeah, I'm always down.
Don't worry, we'll make it happen next time. To be honest with you, I just wanted the UI to be simplistic, like it was.
You nailed it.
Just simplistic, simple. I don't hate the UI that we've got currently on the Xbox. It's nice and easy since it's been updated. Trust me, the beginning one was terrible with the snap features and all that crap. But just simplistic. I hate the fact you have to go into a menu to get to achievements again and things like that. It's just simple it down. Go back to the good old days, which they're getting there, but there still is menus to get into settings and stuff like that. I'm just like, no, just simplify it, go back. And I want, probably a little bit biased because I'm streaming on Mixer a little bit more now. It's like I want Mixer to be even more in the forefront, which it already is. It has its own tab and stuff, but I want that UI design to be so much cleaner. Where right now it's okay, but it needs to be refined, I think.
Yeah, it's very much how you guys were talking about PlayStation, where I rarely turn on the Xbox, right?
Yeah.
So when I do and I have a gripe or I get cranky about it, like I don't know, my opinion does not hold as much weight as yours. But my thing for it is for sure is that it's just there's so much going on.
Yeah.
And it is that I'm right there with you where I'll turn it on and I always when I'm playing a game I do want to see the achievements. And so it is that thing of like, wait, where did they put it? Because it used to be on 360, it was so easy. It was right there. I saw it. I saw the trophy. I was into it. Whereas this one, drilling down into the menus to get to it. I'm like, ugh. And I don't like. There's just so much going on that front page that it does get like. I'll turn it on. I'm like, so did that game that I told to download? Like, where is it?
You have to go into my games to get there.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Just like I hate the fact that you can go downwards as well on the home screen, and like you can add to your favorites. I'm like, I get what you were going for here, but it just doesn't work.
It didn't work. Yeah.
It doesn't work.
And they've had that since the beginning. I feel like they should have got rid of that a while ago with one of the reiterations.
Yeah. It feels like a holdover from what the Xbox One was originally going to be, right? Where it was the entertainment system, whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? Like, dude, I'm surprised they haven't really gone in there and just
Yeah.
canoed the thing and been like, all right,
Yeah.
here's what the new one's gonna be.
Yeah. No.
I would want the ability to use Discord chat
Please.
on Xbox, because like
Dude,
party
that
chat.
would-
I remember when party chat in terms of like communicating on consoles was like the thing, but then I got my
Oh, yeah.
PC next to my console, and it's a completely different ballpark. The quality difference between Xbox Party and Discord.
Yeah.
So
It's huge.
yeah,
It's actually huge. Yeah. No, that would be brilliant. That's not. Yeah. I'd love that front and center. They just ditch Xbox Party. It's like Greg when we play State of Decay, and I'm talking to you through my webcam mic, and I didn't even know. I'm like, oh, dude, like I wish I would have known. You're like, because I remember Haley went to make a cup of tea, and you're like, should I hear the kettle? I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, it's like, hold up a minute. It's like, nah, you're crazy, dude. Do you want to take the next one, question?
yes. Favorite Xbox game of all time, any generation. Looking forward to this one. From Michael Andronico.
No, it's
I
like he
said that
give you
right.
the hard names.
Yeah, I just noticed that because you'll answer like 2 questions in a row, and then I
Bro.
got one with a hard name, and I'm like,
I'm a good
Okay,
host. Come on.
yeah,
I put
okay.
dyslexia is a disease, bro. Trust me. I'm not looking to get dumb today. Greg, favorite Xbox
Yeah.
game of all time.
It's one of those that it's clear the mind let it pop in, and when I did it, of course, it was Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh, okay.
okay,
Like for me,
Nice.
that was. I mean, when I played that in my buddy's room, that's when I walked out and bought an Xbox One used and brought it back, or an Xbox. Sorry, the original Xbox,
Yeah.
Xbox One.
OG.
It brought it back, right? And like I got that. I got stuff. The zombie. Since I was buying it after the fact, I got KOTOR 2 right away as well. Like, fucking KOTOR, what a fucking game. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
BioWare killing it and establishing who they were and like delivering such an amazing Star Wars game when a time we had good Star Wars games, but this was so different, right? That RPG aspect, building your lightsaber, and what the story was. I was just so into it. Honorable mention, I think, to Dead Rising, the original. I remember that.
No, Dead Rising the original sucks. You're so
Dude.
wrong.
yeah,
In the moment, though. You know
In,
what I
oh,
mean?
give
Like
you
I
in
can
the
sit
moment.
there.
But
Yeah.
Dead Rising 2 is superior to Dead Rising 1 in every way, shape, or form.
Not in story. Frank's better than that guy, the bike guy.
No, okay. You could play off the record though. I played all
Yeah,
those
true.
games. Dude.
I
You
play
could
them all
play
too.
the off
No,
the.
I know.
Yeah, dude. Why'd they cancel that Dead Rising game? But 4 was terrible, as Chris will tell you as he saw me
That
was
punish
the
myself
Christmas
playing
one,
the
right?
DLC.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah, I
Fix
remember
forced
playing it
himself
and
to
being
play
like,
through that.
This is, and I'm not that guy, but I remember playing it and being like, this is way too easy.
yeah.
Yes.
Like, Dead Rising was always like such a risk reward challenge.
Big
You
boss-
could literally die anywhere.
Oh,
And then this one, yeah, I remember like beating the first boss without even blinking. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
this is weird. This doesn't give me the Dead Rising vibes.
No, it was horrible. It was horrible. I would go Gears of War as my favorite Xbox game. I'll be honest. Like
The
everyone,
first Gears.
I kind of put them all together, but I can go. If I had to pick one, I'd probably go Gears 2.
Okay.
If I'm honest, like Gears 1 was the first game. It's weird sitting in this front room because I'm back at my mum's house. This is where I'm sitting right now. Is where I set
That's
up.
where it
my
all happened.
It's where I set up my Xbox for the first time. The internet was downstairs. I didn't have a modem upstairs, so I brought my Xbox down here and logged onto Xbox Live for the first time and just played Gears of War. And I just remember being like, "Wow, what a game changer!" Like the multiplayer, the single player, the story, the graphics back then. And as a franchise as a whole, that would be my favorite Xbox game. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, mine's would be Gears 3. I've talked about it so much on this podcast, how much like time I put in during my like high school days where I'd like come home, nothing but Gears of War till like 11 p.m., wake up in the morning before class, play more
Yep.
Gears, go to school, come back, rinse, repeat. And that's solely because of multiplayer. It's not even the story. I think Gears 3 probably one of the weaker stories of the original trilogy.
Yes, I agree with you there.
So, yeah.
It's a hard one with Gears. Greg, you're not excited for Gears, the new one, right?
I'm excited. I mean, I'm going to play it. I am looking forward to it. But Gears hasn't moved my needle in a long time in terms of like, holy shit, yes, I can't wait. Like,
Yeah.
I know what I'm getting usually. I haven't. I mean, we played it at E3. We did the new Horde mode or whatever they called it,
Yeah.
where you're running out with it,
Um,
and it was fun and it's what I wanted. Rahul's in it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like but like story wise, it never hooked me, which is always what I want out of my games. So it's like always been one of those things that don't. You're talking about the first one especially. I remember I was doing an article about a Marine in Columbia, Missouri, who had been shot in the head by a sniper, by like the width of a piece of paper survived. Like it was like if it had gone, that other millimeter, he was
Yeah.
gone. And I remember coming over he was using video games to rehab, and I went over there and he was playing Gears, and it was the first time I'd seen somebody play Gears like live in front of me. And I remember watching and being like, this is so beautiful. And like the way, running and snapping to cover and that locomotion of running with the Lancer was like, holy crap. Like I know those experiences. And so, I'm excited to play it. I'm excited to play it with friends. I know Widow wants to play it, Fran wants to play it. I want to jump in and do it. But
MC Fixer wants to play it.
Yeah, I'm hoping it'll be enough to get its hooks in me and like actually make me more of a fan. But it's always been something I respect. But yeah, I'm not like.
I think it's a hard one to jump into, this one. To be honest with you, we were talking about it, right? Because people were asking last week, where do we jump in? Where do we jump in? It's like you have to play 4, and you have to play 4's story to really have the impact. You're gonna understand who Marcus and Bird and Coltrane are, and they're key for these new.
Well, that's the thing is, I guess I could look at my achievements. I feel like since Gears 2, it was Gears 2. I remember in San Francisco playing with Levi Buchanan from IGN. And like screaming into a pill in the middle of the night because we just wanted to finish that one driving segment. We couldn't.
That part sucks.
I think I want to say I at least played a bit of 4.
I remember if I remember rightly, you played 4 with Colin on the stream, and I remember watching it, and I hated watching you both play it because you just sat there going, "This isn't very good, is it?" And I'm like, you're not even giving it a chance, guys. I hate you. I literally remember. That's why I messaged, I put a tweet out. I was like, Greg, you need a co-op partner? Let's do this. I am ready to play Gears of War with you all day long, whenever you need to do it. But I do think 4 was either make or break for some people. Either you were jumped onto 4, you enjoyed the new cast and the old cast there, and you're along for this journey, or you didn't. I think the gameplay this year, from what I read in previews, and I'm trying not to read too much because I was like hoping to get a review code, but that's a whole touchy subject. But yeah, I'm like, come on, like it just it looks so good. I can't wait. Chris, bring back Wingman #.
Oh man, biggest mistake they've ever done.
Yep, no Wingman. Do you even know what Wingman is, Greg?
I don't know what that is.
It's 2v2 mode, so it's like on multiplayer.
2v2, v2, v2.
V2. So you play as a 2-man squad, and it just used to be pure chaos.
The best thing would be you do the executions in Gears of War, so you and your teammate down one team, and then you execute them at the same time. So you're just beating them down at the same time, and they rage quit before you even finish. Best feeling in the world.
Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Next question we got here is, Greg, how much are you looking forward to coming back to London from Seb Longhurst?
Oh man, we're stoked. Yeah, Kind of Funny World Tour. The final stop, London in November. We can't wait. Like, yeah, we had such a good time there, and it was as usual. It was my first time, so you know how that goes. It's such a blur. You have so much you want to do, so much you want to see. You're just going. Like, we did the meet and greet at Nando's. I didn't even eat Nando's.
So wait, have you eaten Nando's yet?
Yeah, when we just did Vancouver one, Andy and Tim saw it driving to one thing, and they're like, "Dude, we have to go."
So what did you think?
We have to go to Nando's. I did a 10-piece wings, which just I think it was peri medium. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Did you like
it was awesome.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we got the garlic bread. It was fantastic. It was awesome.
Oh, the garlic bread's so good.
We had the giant thing of sangria. We were just sitting there drinking, hanging out. Exactly what I needed.
Yeah, London's obviously coming. It's just good. I personally can't wait because I get to see all of my friends again. It's like that one when obviously we do it. Usually, what we do is when me and Callum, and big shout out to Callum because he doesn't get enough credit. It's always like people know me because I'm the lad one of me and Callum, but without Callum, nothing gets organized. So big shout out to Callum Moore. But yeah, when we organize stuff at EGX every year, it's just great to see everyone, and the fact that you guys are coming over this year and the tickets are all gone and there's just that whole thing. It's just like, okay, cool. I've got my ticket. Let's go.
Yep.
Get to see everyone. Yeah. It's going to be dope. It's going to be so.
And that's the thing too is it's nice to come by, and the whole point of the world tour, right, was to come do meet and greets at places we don't get and do them not really around an event. So it's like cool that we're going there, and it's not. I don't have to worry about doing RTX panels or running off and trying to hit this industry party or whatever the hell you have to do.
Yeah.
Like we're literally going just to see everybody.
Yeah. No. Exactly. Chris, you want to take the next one?
will we ever see a triumphant return of Gruesome Greggy from Ben Barrage?
Did he ever go away? You know what I mean? The Gruesome Greg
He just
never go
evolved. He
away.
changed.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. I feel like if you don't know, that's just my backyard wrestling persona. Which, if you don't know, is pretty just much me in a bathrobe. So I don't. I think you already see a lot of it whether it be me screaming on whatever show or when I was doing the PAX wrestling stuff or now doing the PAX tournament stuff. Like, there's a lot of Gruesome Greggy in everything I do. But I would imagine, I hope now that there's been the split with Ukes and 2K, that Ukes' next wrestling game is going to be effing awesome. That's what I want, right? Like I want them. Like, I thought it was so telling in the interview they had where they were just like, "Oh, we have a lot of great ideas we'd love to do, but WWE won't let us." And it was like, "Ooh," or 2K won't let us. It's like, oh god.
Yeah.
So now that they get to go make a wrestling game, hopefully, I'm assuming an AEW game, right? I would think they get on that license. Exactly. Like, I really hope they come out with something that is awesome and not so much based on, hey, let's make it look as realistic as possible. Like, I do not understand how both 2K and WWE can sit there and see the love people have for those N64 wrestling games and have not given a team of, I would assume, 10 just get a, and that's if you greenlight it, like, set somebody aside to do a strong grapple, weak grapple, hard strike, soft strike, flick your stick for special, and have it look that level of detail, obviously in HD, and people would eat that up, dude. People would flip the fuck out.
I'd love it.
Like, and I think it would bring
the last good WWE game was SmackDown versus Raw 2009, where they had the Road to WrestleManias, and they had to create. I'm a sucker for a sports game story. So, like, 2K, the NBA 2K story, I'm like, yes, I'm in. And, like, every year I go and buy WWE. Christian tell you, he listens to me complain all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is going to be the one. I've got it. I'm going to do it. And you play it, and it's the worst dialogue. And it's still I don't like the wrestling. I just don't like the wrestling. I'm like,
and
this
that's
is
the thing is
I'm done.
They totally went this route with it of trying to make it look as much like TV as they could. And that's what 2K does, and where and sports games for the most part are in terms of simulations. And it's like, don't like, it shouldn't be a simulation, right? It should be a fighting game. Yeah, it should be, hey, we're gonna make something that's easy to understand, difficult to master, like, so that when you see top level players playing, they're playing in a different way. And instead they do this ho hum thing that I just don't think turns heads, period. I don't know. It's like, I was very much the same way you are. Every year I get it and I pop it in and I play it for like 2 matches, and I'm like, there's always like some new thing they've talked about or teased where I'm like, oh man, maybe that's really gonna be a game changer, and I get in there and it just doesn't work. Yeah,
I literally start the career mode every time, and this is gonna be good. And you start it, and it's like, it's the moment always with me. It's like, you're in NXT. I'm like, okay, cool. I like what they're doing there. You're in NXT, cool, boom, and you're fighting Brock Lesnar. I'm like, huh? That doesn't make sense. Like, what? This game, like, no, forget it. I'm just done. No, thank you. No, thank you. We've got a couple more. Thoughts on Halo? Have you ever played through the games? From Antonio.
Oh yeah, I played through. Not all of them by any means. I want to say this is another one of them. They all just run together, like, right? So I never got into Halo on Xbox. I remember in college, maybe it was my freshman year. No, sophomore year. Not that this matters at all. But we were having a house party, and I remember all the new kids, all the new recruits for the Antlers, like, it was like they all turned into, it was like midnight and they were going to turn into pumpkins, and they all like ran out, and I was like, where the fuck's everybody going? Like, oh, we're going to Perry's house, we're doing LAN and Halo. I'm like, what, you nerds, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm the video game guy, you can't be running around here, you're all just playing sports. So yeah, I've played them. I've done co-op. When I was dating Christina, I want to say that would have been like Reach, ODSC, one of those, maybe both of them. Like, we played through those together and stuff. Yeah. So it's this thing. Oh, and then what, I guess the most recent one I remember playing all the way through too. But it's that thing.
5.
It's just, right. That was the one where Cortana is dying or whatever. She's disappearing. Yeah, that Victor's shaking his head like, I don't know.
Nope. No, this podcast, they know. I get it from every angle. You're an Xbox podcast. You don't even care about Halo. Shut up. All right, just shut up. I'm not listening to your noise
you
anymore.
can't put me in a box. All right? I'm a multifaceted person.
I play Resident Evil a lot.
It's the normal thing. There are games I'll play. Like, I'll for sure pick it up and when Infinite drops, and stuff. I think they do cool stuff. I remember when 343, let it go, right, and then they got it picked up and they started making the DLC stuff, and David Ellis was talking all about that. I thought that a really cool idea, but yeah, it's never clicked for me. I'm not the shooter guy, right? That's the thing I've struggled with too, where it's like Wolfenstein, and I did a whole thing a couple months ago about Doom, but my old thoughts on Doom, it was just like, I get it, and these are beautiful games, and I understand why people love them. It's just that's not what I like to like. It's not how I connect with games. Like I shoot plenty of things and people in games, but not this way for some reason. If that's the main mechanic, usually it doesn't work.
Yeah, Crash, you're looking forward to the new Halo, right?
Yeah, I guess.
A ringing endorsement.
This is why we need Snowbite Mike here, because he just gets hype about everything.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Do you know what he put Fallout 76 in his top 10 list for games of the year last year, Greg? I won't have that on this podcast.
Yeah.
Wait, like not as a joke?
No, it was serious.
Not as a joke. I'm not having it. We had a big argument on the podcast. I was not happy. It was like high as well. And then he put PUBG, and that come out the year before. I'm like, Jesus, Mike, what are you doing? Crash, last question.
Just being myself.
Exactly.
I'm working on a Snow Mike impression. It's not there yet, but it will get there eventually.
You'll get there. You'll definitely
What is the strangest thing someone has asked Greg to do? This comes from Matthew Smith.
Oh my god.
You must get loads.
It's a great question. Well, no, but it's just like when a random stranger walks up to you in a room full of 1,000 people and like, hey, will you take your shirt off and take a photo with me? And I'm like, oh yeah, sure. Like, what's the barrier for strangers?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You figure I've married fans, right? I've done plenty of shirtless photos, and I've helped shirtless Spider-Man take photos with people.
Mm-hmm.
Geez, the strangest thing. It's that weird thing. Is like it just doesn't. I don't have one that stands out.
Does anything faze you anymore? Like you are so you're so bubbly. Like when things just come, you seem to just take everything in your stride. At RTX, I observed you a lot. I was sort of there in the background just watching. Not creepy, like I said to you the first time.
Not creepy at all.
Shut up.
I want to be creepy.
With my camera as well, like. But the way you are with people, you just make everybody instantly feel comfortable. So I can't really imagine even if something was strange, in the moment, I feel like you would just make it feel comfortable, like, instantly. Unless it was, like, something too crazy, but that doesn't seem to happen.
And that's the thing where I think we have such a weird thing, right? And I hate using the word, but, like, we have such the kind of celebrity you'd want. Where I was talking about it, right, to a very small group of people, I'm a very big deal. Like, and so what that means is like I call the audience best friends, and they call themselves best friends, and that's attracting a very certain kind of person who wouldn't be the person who would come up to you and be like, "Hey, for this photo, can you hold my dick?" Or they whip out a boob in the middle of the photo, and I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I mean, like that's just not
challenge accepted. London coming.
That's just not how any of the people who I think connect with our message would act, and I don't think they want to put us in those situations, which is lovely. And please keep not putting us in those kind of situations.
Fair enough. That's almost an hour, so I'm just going to ask some more questions, and then we won't bother with the news and stuff. We're all embargoed at the butt cheeks for most things anyway, about what we've been playing probably. So, Greg, London is coming, and obviously you're excited about that. Is there any plans to expand the company further at any point in the near?
So, like, do like a Giant Bomb East kind of thing?
Yes.
Yeah. No, we're not there yet. I think our next. We're very much. I was describing it the other day because I think I had to like totally book a flight or something like the day before I had to go, and it was just like we're in front of the locomotive and we're just putting the rails down as we go. So I think right now, like the farthest sight we have is really for 2020, right? Like we're serious about, and we talked about it at the beginning of this year of like gearing up for the studio. And I think now getting a new space is the next thing. And I don't know if that happens by the end of the year. I don't know if we have, on January 5th, I'd love it to be, we could say something about it, but I mean, is that actually possible? I don't know yet. Like we're moving on that. We're starting to look, we're talking about spaces we see. Kevin's making phone calls, Nick's yelling at Kevin. There's things going on. There's movement there, and I think that's the next thing. So for us, it's going to happen. I think you look at like how we just brought Imran Khan into the fold, right?
Yes.
Formerly of Game Informer. And that was something him and I talked about, like, 5 days before, of like, oh, Andrew's leaving. Like, what's that role look like? Oh, are you interested? He's like, maybe, this, that, and the other. I don't know what's exactly going to go. So that was very much a thing me and Tim talked about. Of like, man, that'd be interesting for next year. That'd be a cool thing to try to get Imran on in 2020. Yeah. And then Monday happened, and he was like, let's get lunch, let's get you in. Well, sure enough, he's working with us by the end of the week. Like,
yeah,
so many of the situations we capitalize on and work with are brought to us because of fate and just how life's going. And so I think the studio is something long term to go, but what's the Kind of Funny look like in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months? Who the hell knows? And I think a big part of it too is the fact that it's what I always tell everybody, like, if you want to be doing this kind of stuff, you need to be doing it. And in the same breath, I think if you want to be you working with us, or you want, like, it's that thing of like, if there was a need for a Kind of Funny London, a Kind of Funny New York, a Kind of Funny whatever, that would be started probably by a conversation of somebody explaining to us how that would benefit us and what it would look like. Because it's the same thing where, like, everybody's always like, well, why don't you move to LA? You know what I mean? Move down and do. And it's always like that thing, like, we think it would be a little cheaper, but not enough to actually tear up everybody's lives and do that. And so it's that thing of, if anybody in the company was actually super motivated to do it, they would have to come to us and be like, hey, here are the numbers. Here's what this would look like. Explain it to us, because none of us have with our limited amount of time and our limited amount of bandwidth, nobody's sitting there going like, you know what I'm going to do today on this Sunday? I'm going to sit here and totally invest all my time into looking at what it would be like to move to LA for no reason.
So you're saying I've got an hour with you when you get to London for my 5-page PowerPoint.
Exactly.
Industries.
Well, you're probably wondering why I call this TED Talk.
Honestly, I haven't got any more questions. You got anything, Crash, before I wrap this up?
No, I do not.
Honestly, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you to everybody that has listened to my Xbox and Me ever. Episode 200 is something that, if you look at it, is a crazy milestone to hit, considering where we started and where we're at now. Big thank you to everyone that has co-hosted with me, whether it was in my bedroom here when it was pink, or whether it's in my sister's room, whether it's now. I make a commitment every single week to never miss a week. And that's something that Greg taught me. Be consistent in people's lives. So thank you all. This is why I'll get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and do the show. That's why if it's not up by Friday, you know that there will be a show by Sunday, because I don't miss a week. I'll do it on my own, like I have done 3 or 4 times now. It doesn't matter. I will make sure this show happens every single week. Let's plug, and get ourselves out of here. Crash, what have you got to plug this week, dude?
If you guys want to watch me play some games, you can catch me on mixer.com/crush.
Greg, what you got to plug?
I have a company called Kind of Funny. We make a lot of cool content. What would be actually probably interesting, we were talking about Imran a second ago, right? 2 of his former colleagues, we're bringing them out to San Francisco this week to host shows with him. So Kind of Funny Games Daily on Thursday and Friday are Imran and his Game Informer buds, former Game Informers, and then they're also doing the Games Cast by themselves. So we just wanted to let them have the keys to Kind of Funny and see what they did with it, so that they could actually go out their way and remind people that they're still there. So that's going to be, I think, really, really cool content.
Cool. You can find me everywhere at MCFixer. Remember, you can get this show on all podcast services, iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, all of that. If you want to support the show and could really do with the support, patreon.com/MCFixer. Drop a couple $, my way if possible. Keeps the show going, keeps the lights on. Not these lights technically, because these are my mum's, but you understand what I'm saying. But yeah, until next time, I will love you, leave you, and see you all later. Thank you so much, Greg, and here's to the next 200. Goodbye.
Congratulations.
Bye.